Business intelligence, digital marketing. One. Tell a story. People buy from people.
That means you must start by understanding who your customers are.
1.
Who are they?
2. Why do they care about your brand? 3. Where do they live?
4.
What do they do? 5. What problems do they face? Once you know your audience, you can craft a story that speaks directly to them.
The key is to identify your customers' pain points, which are the issues or challenges that keep them awake at night.
Then, you need to figure out how your product solves these problems. 2. Use emotion. Emotions drive behavior, and we tend to act differently when we feel sad, angry, or scared. You can get your audience to respond to your message by tapping into emotions.
For example, when you talk about saving money, you might say, "You deserve to save $100 each month, and it will only take 10 minutes per day." Or, you might say, "If you invest in our product, you'll never have to worry about losing another sale."
3. Be authentic. Authenticity, you might say, "I used to spend $100 every month on coffee, and now I only spend $20.
Or my car broke down last week, and it cost me $400 to fix it." People want to hear what others think and feel and don't want to read something written by someone else. So, if you write a copy for your website or social media posts, make sure it comes from your heart.
If it doesn't, then it won't work.
4.
Create a memorable experience. Your goal is to build trust between you and your audience. To do this, you need to offer value. How do you add value? By creating a unique experience.
A fantastic way to do this is by providing free samples or discounts.
5. Deliver results. Your story needs to deliver results.
If you promise to give away $1 million, but you don't have $1 million to give away, people aren't going to believe you.
You need to prove that you can deliver.
Showing proof of success is the best way to convince your audience that you can solve their problem. For example, let's say you sell a software program that allows you to track your sales leads.
You could show how much time and effort you've put into building your business. You could also include testimonials from happy clients.
6.
Share your story. Once you've told your story, you need to share it.
You can write blog posts, post videos, or share articles on social media sites like Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, Pinterest, Instagram, and YouTube. 7.
Measure success.
To measure your success, ask yourself questions such as, did my customers buy more than they planned to?
Were they satisfied with the service?
Did they recommend my company to others? 8.
Stay consistent. Consistency is key. Once you start telling your story, you need to keep doing it. Keep going until you reach your goals. 9. Focus on the result.
You may be tempted to focus on the beginning steps of your journey. However, once you get started, you'll realize that the most critical part of your story is at the end, and the result will determine whether your account was successful or not.
10. Write to your readers. Your goal is to ensure your article is easy to read and understand. Make sure you're writing in plain English.
Don't use jargon or technical terms unless you're explaining something complex. If you're writing about a topic that isn't familiar to your audience, explain everything clearly and concisely.
Refrain from it if everyone knows what you mean. 11. Make them care.
Most people are interested in hearing about things that affect them directly. If you're trying to sell something, ensure your audience knows why they should buy your product or use your service. This goes beyond just telling them what it does, it explains why it matters to them personally. For example, I'm writing this article because I think you'll find it interesting.
Or I wrote this blog post because I believe we can help each other. Consider sharing some subjective experiences with your readers. You could talk about how you overcame challenges or learned lessons, demonstrating that you've been there and can relate to others' struggles. If you're selling a product or service, you can offer incentives for signing up. These can range from discounts to freebies.
Some companies give away products or services for free as part of a trial period, and others provide exclusive deals or promotions during certain times of the year.
12. Set the scene.
Setting the scene provides context for your audience to read or watch.
This includes describing how the piece came into existence, where it fits within the larger narrative of the publication, and why readers should care. You want to ensure that people understand why they are reading or viewing this article now. If you don't set the scene, they might skim over it. This is especially important when writing long-form articles because you want to give people enough information to keep reading. They need to set the scene to stop reading halfway through.
13.
Be creative with chronology.
Chronological order is one of the essential elements of storytelling.
It's often considered the backbone of narrative fiction. But there are some pitfalls you must avoid if you want to keep readers hooked.
Here are 4 things to consider when creating a timeline.
14. Use the proper tense. You might think it makes sense to use the present tense to describe something happening now, but it doesn't work well.
Present tense describes ongoing actions, while past tense describes completed actions.
So, if you write about a character doing something today, use the past tense. If you want to show how someone felt yesterday, use the present tense.
Don't go overboard.
It's tempting to add more details than necessary. However, if you do so, you risk confusing your reader.
They may not remember exactly what happened on page 10, but they will remember that you added so much detail.
The show doesn't tell. When possible, try to include visual cues to illustrate events.
15.
Know your punchline.
A good joke tells a story, even if there isn't one. Humor is often used to convey information about the writer, their life experiences, and their thoughts. The best jokes tell stories because they're funny and help us understand something about ourselves, our friends, and the world around us.
We will only find the joke funny if we know why someone is laughing. And if we don't understand why we're laughing, we'll stop reading.
Humor is a powerful tool for connecting with readers. But humor alone doesn't guarantee success.
You must also write well. You might want to start thinking about your target market. 1. What do they care about? 2. What problems do they face? 3.
What makes them angry? 4.
What makes them happy? Once you've answered those questions, you can begin to craft your brand identity. 1. What's unique about you? 2. Why should anyone read your work? 3. What do you stand for?
If you're trying to sell products or ideas, you'll need to consider your product's features, benefits, and costs.
This will help you determine how much money you can spend on advertising and promotion.
Finally, you'll need to determine where your ideal customer lives.
1. Where are they online? 2.
On social media?
3. In real life?
16.
Engage your audience. A good headline will engage readers. They want to know what you are talking about. So, make sure you tell them. Ask yourself how you can use words to hook your reader. Do you want to provide information?
Or do you want to ask a question?
What does your headline say?
How will it help someone solve a problem? If you don't understand why your headline matters, try asking yourself some simple questions like, what am I trying to accomplish? Who is my target audience? How can I best reach them? Use questions to draw people into the story. Questions are powerful tools because they force people to think about themselves and their situation, making them more likely to take action. For example, if your headline says, "Is your business ready for GDPR?"
You're telling people that they must act now.
But if your headline asks, "What is GDPR?"
You're inviting people to learn more about the topic, and people love to learn. A good headline should be engaging. 1. Readers want to see something interesting, and they want to feel excited about reading your article. 2.
Make sure your headline is attention-grabbing and intriguing.
3.
17. 4.
Be the main character.
The most important thing about writing a great blog post doesn't just have innovative ideas, it's being able to tell those ideas to others. You'll find yourself in situations where you're asked to write something for someone else, whether a client, colleague, friend, family member or even a stranger. In each case, you'll need to ensure you're speaking directly to your audience. If you've got a story to tell, start by thinking about how best to say it.
What's the hook?
How do you want to position yourself as an expert?
Whom are you trying to reach? And why should they care? Once you've figured out your angle, it's time to put pen to paper.
Start with a strong opening paragraph.
This is often the most challenging part of a piece because it sets the tone for the rest of the article. Make sure it's short and punchy.
If you're struggling, try one of these 3 sentences: I'm tired of seeing, I hate doing.
Or you know I love. Next, flesh out the body of the text. Think about what makes your topic unique. Is there anything special about it? Does it contain a lesson learned?
A funny anecdote? Something surprising?
Whatever it is, make sure it's straightforward to understand. Finally, wrap things up with a conclusion.
This is usually the easiest part of a post since you already know where you're heading. But if you're still stuck, here's another sentence. In summary, my advice is: now go ahead and publish your post.
Remember, you're telling a story. So, please keep it straightforward. Be honest and authentic, and always remember to put yourself in your reader's shoes.
18.
Ensure the content aligns with the message. A story should always mean something and shouldn't just be a collection of words.
Writing about a brand, product, or event needs to tell a story that makes sense to your audience.
A story only works if there is an intersection between the story itself and the message.
For example, if you are writing about a car accident, the report must make sense within the context of the brand, and it must relate to what people care about. You don't want to write a story about a brand, product, or event without meaning anything, which could lead to confusion among readers and hurt the credibility of your brand.
19. Make it visual.
When you share information online, you have an opportunity to use images to help convey your point. Images are powerful tools that allow you to communicate quickly and effectively.
Here are some tips.
Keep it simple, and make sure your images are clear and concise. Include a call to action, CTA, button. Your CTA buttons should be easy to spot and link to your landing page.
Add text below the image.
This helps break up long paragraphs and allows your reader to skim through the content.
20. Use Google to find stories.
Google is becoming one of the most potent news sources today and might even replace traditional newspapers. So why aren't you using Google to find stories?
The answer is simple: you're looking at the wrong place.
Instead of searching for articles directly on Google, use Google News, which lets you see what people are discussing across the web.
You'll notice that there is no news section on Google.com.
Instead, you'll see a list of topics like entertainment, sports, business, etc. Clicking on those topics opens a box where you can type related keywords. For example, clicking on entertainment brings up a box to search for movies, TV shows, celebrities, music, sports, etc.
1. Make sure there is closure. Closing out your story with a resolution is essential. If you don't resolve something, readers won't feel satisfied.
For example, if your character dies, make sure they don't just die off screen.
Readers want to know how things turn out. 2.
Give your main character a successful conclusion.
Your protagonist should achieve their goals.
This could mean your protagonist gets married, buys a house, earns a promotion, etc.
Don't let them fail. 3. Keep your plot moving forward. Take your time with the action.
You'll lose interest if your story goes on forever. And remember, most people read fiction because they enjoy reading about other people's problems and don't want to spend hours solving them themselves.